Good morning. I am sitting here. I was just reading a thread on Threads. Well, I responded to it last night, actually, before I went to bed. And so, anyway, I woke up this morning and there was a direct reply to me. And the gist of the thread is, why do people get in their feelings when someone ghosts you? Just accept that they didn't want to be with you and move on. And hi, sweetie, you can come up here. Yo, that is that is the worst advice. Like, if that worked, and that is the widespread advice, then people wouldn't be so messed up. Okay. Listen, if I went on 5 panel interviews, right? I filled out questionnaires, submitted work samples, shared ideas, right? Like just all of the things. To be ghosted by a job, like, no, we've all been there, right? Well, maybe you haven't. Maybe you haven't sat on multiple panel interviews. Maybe you haven't prepared and taken off work from your main job that you maybe love or don't love, to schedule time to study the industry, to study the job description, like to really get excited about a new experience. And to be getting like great feedback in the interviews, great energy, all of that, only to not hear from the company. Here's why I'm using that as an example, because people like to think, oh, well, you should just be okay. Like, if they ghost you, that's just a sign that you were incompatible. Among other things, though, right? I get to mourn the loss of my investment, of my time and my energy and my resources, right? I get to mourn, right, that loss of like that fantasy. Not even just fantasy, but I get to grieve like not getting this thing that I invested in, that I wanted, that I could see myself having. The only place that someone should go is into their feelings to process the hurt, the disappointment, the anger, the regret, the fear of what might be where else should I go? Listen, the only thing that is apparent, the only place that I don't have to go is into the fact of this was going to be incompatible. Because if this is how you end things, yeah, we're incompatible. Stay right here, mama. Stay right here. I got the heated blanket on, like, freaking high. And she's like, girl, no. But anyhow, I just always find it weird. Like, why can't we use our feelings for love? It's so weird. Like, oh, no. Don't use none of your feelings. Just like all logic. That doesn't get us anywhere either. You have a lot of people then who are paralyzed by being ghosted. You know why people are paralyzed when they're ghosted? Because usually they don't allow themselves to process the emotion of being left, being abandoned. That's a fact. And it's a feeling. Loneliness, depletion. I cannot think of a logical place that someone would need to go other than their feelings. The person ghosting y'all are in theirs. A person will only ghost you because they have been led by a feeling. And now I cannot use my feeling to process this experience. It's just it's strange to me. It's harmful. We'd never tell, oh my God, we would just never tell a child we'd never tell a child to get out of their feelings from being abandoned by their incompatible parents. We would not do that. What? Or are we telling little kids? Like, are we telling people that? Are we telling grown adults who have never been able to process, like, being left in a basket or being ghosted by maybe their adult parents, whom, or siblings, or whomever? Oh, I'm not willing to buy it, right? Like, this is just one of those things that I am not willing to buy. I'm not saying that there are real instances where people are grieving being ghosted. And again, it's like, I know they're probably not grieving the loss of the connection. It might be other things, but even still, like, I don't know, I'm trying to remember, have I ever been ghosted? Like, not, because I don't really get close to people like that to feel like I'm ghosted, but which is why I can use like other examples, because it's happened to me in other parts of my life, like in my professional life. That happens. Y'all folks ghost people all the time. Like, oh my God, let's work on this project, da, 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 and then you just don't ever hear from them. I get to be in my feelings for a second, like, dang, I really was hoping that we could get this off the ground. I don't have to live there, but damn, I don't get to be in my feelings for something that I feel. That is weird behavior. That is not normal human behavior. I no longer want to participate in things that go against my human nature. My human nature is to say, ouch, when something hurts. That is me acknowledging my feelings. I am not going to stop. If that ouchie happens outside of myself or inside of myself, if that ouchie happens at work, or if it happens while dating, or if it happens when one of my kids say, Mommy, let's do this, we gather all these supplies, we do all that, and then I see them on the video game on Minecraft, not bothered by me, not interested, like no longer want to participate. Yo, I get to be in my feelings. And you do too. Anyhow, I really, really, really hope that this message is received properly, right? Be in your feelings after someone has harmed you. Please don't go anywhere else besides your feelings. And in processing that, especially if you have healthy coping tools, a healthy little healing toolbox, if you have a healthy support system, then you already know you are going to get into your feelings to use them to grow, like to grow beyond that moment. For those people who don't have a healthy toolkit, who are just not really sure, and they get caught up in that sadness, and they get caught up in that grief, and they get caught up in that disappointment, and they get caught up in believing that no one will respect them because everyone has always left them without a message and without an explanation. For those people who begin to suffer while processing their feelings, we offer them more support. That is it. That is the answer. I am never going to blame someone for trying to understand the hollowness that a ghost leaves behind. I have seen the actual harm. Y'all, I have seen what happens when people are not allowed a moment to catch their breath and say, like, hold on, wait a minute, what happened there? What happened there? Did y'all just see did y'all just see this person just push me down that I was just walking alongside of and holding my hand? Yeah, the probability and the statistics are, I don't know, however, they are where they are. But I still get to process that, y'all. And so does everyone else. Like, I'm just so... I'm so angry for all of the people who were told that their anger, their pain, that their suffering was invalid because they should have seen the signs. That ain't even how manipulation works. That's not even how tricking someone works. Anyway, I've gone on longer than I originally intended. I would like to know how you process being ghosted for any reason, and how you have processed things that have ended abruptly. How have you processed being abandoned in your life? And tell me really what has worked and what has not worked. For me, I think in a nutshell, I have found that what has worked for me is going into my feelings, literally writing them down, because I am someone who needs like physical proof, right, of my feelings sometimes. And so I need proof, like what happened here. And I get to process that information in real time with my feelings. And in most cases, I move on very quickly. And that's the healthy part. That's the processing part, right? I mean, maybe it shouldn't take you, or maybe it should, I don't know. I would just love to hear your thoughts on this. And if your thought is like the mass thought, you don't even have to leave your thought. I already know how you feel. You feel like people should shove their feelings and stuff them and just keep eating pain. I don't need to hear any more tips on how to do that. I've got enough. I am looking for people who actually process grief, pain, emotions by using their emotions. I would love to hear from you. Thank you.